And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, roger, planet.
Water towers fly! Yes! Tango down to nominal.
Fighting outside FD off. Bring in FD off. Off. It's orange!
145! Oh my god!
Decollage.
Put that in the big bag, you know.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed. We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
The methane would be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You read? Sure. We don't need any more of these.
Shuttle Sunday time. Yes, it's the favourite part of a Sunday. It's the Shuttle Sunday part. STS-33 we're on now, which is the 32nd shuttle mission overall. It's where the naming gets a bit weird because missions move around on the schedules, but we're on STS-33 for the latest one. We're doing this in chronological order, so we're coming through to Discovery's mission now, a DoD mission, which is very interesting in its own right because normally you don't get much content on that, but I've been digging through the archives, looking through the depths of L2's vaults and find as much content as possible. We have some videos as well, but we do have a lot of photographs and a lot of interesting things and a few little surprises because we have talked about how the crew would escape in an emergency scenario. And we've actually got some footage of the long pole that we've always talked about. But anyway, to discuss that in depth with me is Sawyer. Hello, Sawyer.
Hello, Chris. It is so good to be back for a Shuttle Sunday. It is a beautiful day for a beautiful DoD mission.
Also joining us is Jack. Hello, Jack.
Gotta love Shuttle Sunday, especially the spooky DoD stuff. Those are my favorite. So let's get into it. Let's learn. I want to learn things.
So this is a DoD mission, which means there's not much footage because it's secret. Shh. We're not meant to talk about DoD missions. But that's okay, we can still get what's released and what's allowed to be shared. I always said at the start of the show, there's no way we'll do an hour with the content of a DoD mission. Let's see if I'm proven wrong, because we usually go over time. We end up getting chatty about Shuttle. Speaking of which, this is interactive. If you're watching this live, as in right now on Space Coast Live, you can ask questions. You can do at NASA Spaceflight at NSF. Ask a question and we'll answer them best we can. If you're watching a recording of this one, you can use the chat in the comment section. By all means, join in. We do read the comments, so if you've got a question in the comment section, it might take a while, but I will keep an eye on it during the day, through the days that follow when we publish this, and see if we can answer them for you. So it's as interactive as possible. But I'm going to do what I always do with a shuttle mission, and that is start with the mission patch. Now I'm going to click on this, and it's going to not come up full screen. Oh, it is. What a miracle. I've worked out how to do full screen straight away. There we go. So this is the mission patch for this one. Sawyer likes to talk about the details involved because usually there's a story behind it. So Sawyer, off you go.
I do indeed. So this one was designed by the crew members, featuring a stylized Falcon soaring into space to represent America's commitment to manned space flight. Again, this was from the 80s when they used the term manned, not crew. The crew members feel the Falcon symbolizes courage, intelligence, tenacity, and love of flight. They intend the orbit around Earth to represent the Falcon's lofty domain. However, the bird, with its keen vision and natural curiosity, is depicted looking forward beyond that domain to challenge the edge of the universe. The bold red feathers of the wings, drawn from the American flag, overlaying the random field of stars, illustrate the determination to expand the boundaries of knowledge by American presence in space. And this is something I'm sure we'll be talking about as we go on. That single gold star honors the memory of the late Rear Admiral S. David Griggs, who was originally assigned to this crew.
I know that It's nothing, but I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on for a second. The fact that random is specifically called out to describe the field of stars, I'm immediately like, I put my tinfoil hat on, and I'm like, is it really random? Is there a secret code in the stars? Where's the secret code of the stars, Sawyer? What does it say? What is it telling us? I'm joking. It's a really
Especially the
beautiful,
DoD mission. Yeah, what does it
right,
mean?
right. But really though, it's a beautiful patch. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It has that '80s flair that just makes me nostalgically happy. It's beautiful.
It is very 80s. That's a good way to put it.
I personally appreciate the way that Sawyer read out the description of the patch because Sawyer almost gave it more meaning. The description of the patch and the way they designed it. Basically, to me, it's an eagle with some dodgy stars behind it, but it actually explains. It does explain a few things to me because there is a video that I can't show you because it's just horrendously edited together of the launch, and somebody is like in real media player editor in the 80s or whatever has literally like photoshopped an eagle behind the launch video, which is the weirdest thing ever. I now regret not having it in my folder because I kind of want to show it to you, but it is like 3 frames per second and it's just awful. But that now explains it to me because the eagle's in the patch. So I was thinking, what's the random eagle doing behind like some weird Photoshop version of the launch? But anyway, moving quickly on, let's go back to the crew. Here we go. Well, here we go. The crew. So let's Sawyer again. Sawyer, you how many of these have you met, Sawyer?
Only 2.
Oh, only
Only?
2 flexes? What?
Sawyer, do better.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was John Blaha was one of the first astronauts that I ever actually met, and Story Musgrave, which, yeah, he always has quite the story.
Wow.
I mean,
See,
tell me I'm wrong.
yeah,
No,
the
you're not wrong. I'm just flabbergasted that you constantly Musgrave those puns.
I Musgrave attention. That's what it
Oh,
is.
that was way better. That one's way better. You're the king.
By the way, a little spoiler for the photos to come is there's a round ball crossover in this mission. A round ball crossover. We've got sports ball to talk about because one of those crew was a professional footballer or soccer player if you're American. So that's going to be interesting to show you some actual sport in space, which is a thing, actually, to be fair. They've been doing it for over the years. I've seen when the World Cup was on, they were playing around in that. They've got baseballs up there. They've been throwing American footballs and things like that. So sports in space is actually a thing we could do a proper video on if you think about it. There's been so much of it, but this is a good example, this mission. But anyway, we're still pre-launch, so let's keep going through pre-launch. Look at this photograph here. This is the crew. I would have said probably at the terminal countdown demonstration test. So would you agree? Because they're in their flight suits, but they're basically just almost doing a photo opportunity with the full stack.
Yeah, probably, unless again it was just a photo opportunity event. Also, the rotating service structure, which they use to work on loading payloads and things, is still around the orbiter. They don't retract that until 24 hours before.
Ah, true, very true. Nice spot. There is the crew on the flight deck. Now, of course, you're probably used to missions, especially more later shuttle fans, of 7 crew, where you'd normally have basically 4 on the flight deck and 3 in the mid deck. But this, obviously, I don't know if this is again a pre-launch photo opportunity. Would you normally have 5 on the flight deck, Sawyer?
No, this is a absolutely 100% a photo op during
Yeah.
launch. Kathy Thornton was the one who was stuck down in the mid bay, the only one during launch.
Do we know how this was taken? I mean, it's obviously a very wide-angle lens. Whose hand is on the camera or the shutter release taking the photo? This is a fascinating image. Because the only thing behind the camera is screens or switches and windshield, right? Like,
I mean, it could be on a timer.
it could be on a timer. Yeah, it's a beautiful image. I love it.
It really is nice, yeah. And you get to see the complexity of the flight deck. I mean, that's a thing that is both cool, but also, wow, so many things to go wrong because it's all switches and dials and flickers. I mean, the glass cockpit that came in later looked more like it as far as a modern spacecraft, but it was still the same 70s design, if you think about it, with the way that the orbiters were put together and how they were flown. And again, people keep saying, "Where are the steering wheel?" They call it. Basically, no. The fun thing about the shuttle is it could have flown uncrewed. There was only a couple of things during landing where they actually needed crew intervention, full stop, but they could have had a cable to do that instead. But yeah, it was a lot of the flying is by the orbiter herself.
Yeah, and as they went to the glass cockpit, it's worth noting that all those switches and things you see around there, they're still the exact same switches. It's not like they removed them. In fact, they would later add switches once they added in the drogue chute.
Yeah, this is I tell you what, if I was, no, sorry, I'm going down a rabbit hole. If I was on a dating profile, I wanted a dating profile picture. This would be it.
I thought the same
My
thing.
goodness!
I
Oh,
thought the
thank
same
goodness for
thing.
that. I thought it in my mind. I started saying it out loud, and then I started instantly regretting starting this off. But that is a smooth look, isn't it?
Cool
Look
guys
at
don't look
me.
at their spacecraft; they just look
Oh,
away. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like don't look at the explosion; just walk away. Like it's just the coolest possible thing he could be doing. And he's got the Slick Rick patch right there, and the NASA worm patch, the best possible NASA logo.
oh, that is a smooth. That is a smooth look with a
I,
great. I mean, everything about that's just awesome. I really
I
do like
think
that
that's
photograph.
Sonny Carter in that shot. I believe.
Fun
Nice.
fact: there's also at least 2 instances of Helvetica in this shot on the phone booth and on Discovery itself.
Oh, fonts. Hang on.
That's fantastic.
Phone. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm a
G-
font of knowledge on this topic. Sorry.
There you
Trust me,
go.
it's a DoD mission. I'm going to spend my time on these photographs. Discovery.
I know. Not my first rodeo, Chris. We won't fill an hour, says Chris.
Yeah. 3 hours
I,
later, we're going
look
to
at
do
those
the landing
fonts.
video now. There we go. The cake's a lie. Our traditional cake's a lie. It's not a lie. It's there again. Always do a cake with the mission patch. I wonder if there was some chef who did every single one, a bit like especially post Columbia, the flowers in Mission Control was a family, wasn't it? Sawyer? It was always a family that sent it to the Mission Control room. I wonder if
Yep.
there was someone
That was post
responsible for the
Challenger, not
cake.
post Columbia.
Was it post Challenger
It
even?
was
My
post
goodness.
Challenger. They did it after the Challenger disaster for STS-26, and then every mission onwards. Yeah, it goes back to 88, I think.
Wow. I wonder if they had someone doing the cake. I mean, it seems to be a thing. Do we know what the hen is about, Sawyer?
That's not a hen. That's a
Is
turkey.
it,
That's the
is
most
it
British
turkey?
thing
Of
Chris has
course
ever
it's.
done on stream. That's the most British thing Chris has ever
No,
done on stream. We've reached peak British, everybody.
to be fair, I saw a beak and I saw a bird, and I was immediately thinking that. But then, yeah, I can see the back of it. There we go.
Spoiler alert, this mission launched November
November 27th.
22nd.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving,
Oh, there
Chris.
we go.
22nd launch. Yeah, so
Wait,
it was
wait,
I believe the first Thanksgiving in orbit for the shuttle. And
yeah,
the
we don't
second ever, with the other one being on Skylab.
Did they
we don't
get
do
any?
Thanksgiving.
Did they get any special like meal or anything because of the timing of the launch? You know, sometimes they do that, right?
They sure did. Oh yeah, they
Ooh.
absolutely got their Thanksgiving meal on board for this one. Let me see. I had
Oh
the
wait.
menu.
I don't want us to get ahead of ourselves here. But we should talk about that when we get there. We haven't even launched yet, Sawyer. But also, I mean, not only in the service of taking up time, but also look at their shirts. I want
Look.
one of those shirts. I like desperately want one of those shirts. The stripes. Again, it's just the '80s vibe. I'm gonna be kind of bummed when we move into the '90s and 2000. Like, it's like this aesthetic. It's when you're a kid growing up in the '90s or late '80s. This is the astronaut aesthetic. You know what I mean? And it's weirdly retro, but also kind of modern. I'm
To be
into
fair,
it.
I'm with you on this. It's a cool shirt.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even like polo shirts. I would wear the heck out of that shirt.
I would, yeah. Anyway, moving on from the
So
Thanksgiving
I do need
hen.
to update something really quick. It was the second time that Thanksgiving was celebrated in orbit on shuttle. The third time ever, not first and second. So second and third.
Sawyer facts.
I had
Yep,
to double check
Thanksgiving.
myself on that.
Thanks to the Thanksgiving hen. Moving on.
Yes, the hen, the potatoes, and the broccoli, that would become their meal.
Is Thanksgiving hen the new panda burger? I think it might be.
You could be, yeah. Honest to God, when you first said, I'm off to Panda Burger, I think, what the heck, California? You actually have panda meat in your burgers. Don't they need an
No.
endangered species?
No, nobody in chat knows what we're talking about. It's amazing.
No. There'll be
Also,
some people who will.
I feel like at some point we need to address the change of crew that happened prior to this mission.
Yes.
We'll switch away from the panda burgers and switch to things a little more seriously. So, originally assigned to this crew, as I kind of mentioned earlier, was uh, sh- why did my brain just stop working there? I apologize. Um, t- um, sorry, I had it up. My brain just let's
You're good.
continue along.
No, you're good. There's a crew change. One of
Yeah.
the crew had to be changed out. I do not have their name right off the top. You even said it like a few minutes ago. It's all right, Sawyer. We all brain fart.
Yeah, it was Dave Griggs was preparing for a weekend air show in one of his World War II aircraft, and shortly after 9 o'clock, according to an eyewitness, he was performing aileron rolls when one of the wings accidentally touched the ground and caused it to cartwheel into a field, killing him instantly.
heck.
So that's why he was removed from that mission, and then there was concern because all of the other veteran astronauts were assigned to future missions. So the commander of the mission here ended up saying, "I want John Blaha to come in and do it." So Frederick Gregory said, "I want John," and that's what they did. So that is why John is a part of this crew.
Isn't that sad? I mean, if you think about it, that's probably a good little bit of context that I think people should be reminded of from time to time, that even astronauts who you think are indestructible, just, an air show and just tipping a wing, catching a wing on the ground, and that's it, you're over. It just shows, you got to sort of live your life, and just basically, there's no like automatic green pass to continue on regardless of what status you are. So yeah, that's I didn't actually know the story behind what his death was, so that's quite sad.
I'm
To
not
say
a
the least.
I'm not a statistician, and I'm certainly not a philosopher, but I feel like there's an unfortunate propensity for remarkable people to have remarkable ends, sometimes in not a great way. I mean, when you're an astronaut, when you're living on the ragged edge, and when you're at the top of your game, you're doing extraordinary things, and sometimes bad stuff can happen. I mean, if you've ever seen The Right Stuff, if you know any of the history of the astronaut corps, or if excuse me, or if you're a fan of aviation in general, if you watch the air show circuit, accidents happen, and when you are doing extraordinary things, every time it goes well, you should appreciate that it's gone well, because it doesn't always. And every single person that puts in their all to do these extraordinary things, it's not without risk.
Yeah, and also unfortunately, later on after this mission, Sonny Carter would end up dying in a commercial plane crash. So this was,
Yeah.
a rough time for this crew. But the mission that they did is still spectacular. So let's make sure we highlight the good, including the first African American to command a space shuttle mission with Frederick Gregory on this one, as you see here.
Heck yeah.
I'm zooming in on this.
Oh, from the Apollo era. Oh,
Wow.
Pumpkin?
Oh, pumpkin.
Is that a remnant from Halloween?
Sorry, or is that a gourd hen?
Wow! Oh, wow!
Oh no.
Wow!
Oh no. You gotta be on your toes with Sawyer, because it will throw a pun at you, and you won't realize it's coming, and you won't realize this happens sometimes. Then Sawyer will go, "Did you miss that?" And I'll go, "Oh, no, I missed a pun." I tell you what, this is a nice photograph. I mean, it's natural. It's not like they're posing for the camera. It's like they're just busy, just talking and chatting, and it catches them off guard. I mean, you two will know it as photographers. It's the best kind of photograph, isn't it? It's not where they're like told to 3, 2, 1, smile.
Right.
They're just left to doing their own business and then take this photograph, and you get more emotion out of it that way, don't you?
Nice little candid moment. It's really, you get a sense of the people versus, and that's not to say a planned out, portrait where everyone's smiling and looking directly at the camera is bad either. But yeah, I'm a fan of the candid shots, Chris, for sure.
Right, I'm going to try a video now. forgive me, Jay, because these videos are pretty terrible quality. I mean, we've been very blessed by the fact we've had some good quality video coming through on some of these older missions, but this one was a struggle. I think because it's DoD. I think that was the reason why no one went, like NASA didn't go to any effort to really do this. But I've got this emergency egress training, which is pre-launch, so I'm going to play it now. And it just shows a few things that I want to point out. We've talked about on previous Shuttle Sundays where the egress out of the crew hatch. We are talking post Challenger mods, I think, Sawyer. So let me just bring up the video and see if we get any sound first of all. Bear with me while I get some sound to actually play, because I've got it on 0 volume.
No worries. We're doing it live.
This is how deep you have to go into these vaults to find this stuff. You even get
Yeah.
the colorist. The colorist.
Nice. That's so cool. Yeah, you know, just as we're looking at this image still, a lot of people come up to me in the field and want a selfie, and I'm down. But if you want me smiling, it's got to be candid.
Well, this is fascinating because I'm playing a video on my OBS.
I heard it through your mic.
Yeah. But for some reason, nothing is showing on the screen. Oh, Jace thinks our server died. Chat, do you still hear me?
Clear.
Do a quick 5x5 in chat if you can still hear me at least. Oh, hang on, they can still hear me. I'm
Yep, they
glad I
can
didn't
still
say
hear.
any rude words. Well, I'll tell you one thing then. Let's see what happens on the old... if I come off this video and go to morph photographs, how about that? Let's see if that works. 1 second. I think it'll be the same problem, but we'll soon find out.
Yes, we did just get new servers, Lords of Random, but also it doesn't mean we got rid of all of the old servers necessarily.
All right, hang on. Let's see if this new photograph turns up. I'm going to keep watching the live YouTubes. People watching the recorded version of this are going to go, what the heck? What they doing?
Well,
And we'll
in the
go, well,
meantime,
we do it live.
Chris, if you want, we do have a couple things to support, and we do have a
Oh,
question.
okay. Let's go for it.
And if you do have questions, you can at NASA Spaceflight or at NSF in chat while we're live, and of course in the comments afterwards once the video is posted. But if you're live, you get to ask right now. Lords of Random, thanks for the $5. They say, I like the red wings on the Eagle. They're talking about the patch, which I like too. I like the outline. However, there are better patches out there. It's still solid though, 9 out of 10. I think 9 out of 10 is a fair rating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I'll go 8.5.
all right. I mean, you can't beat the NRO octopus, but that's neither here nor there.
Nothing is
great.
beyond our reach.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Nothing is beyond that patch. That's the Phil. Thank you for the 4 pounds, 5 pounds. Say, agree with others in chat. This needs its own shuttle intro of just shuttles. Keep up the good work. Can't wait for the beginning of October. If you know. Here's the thing. The whole point of the intro is that it's supposed to be our own footage. So we got a time machine. And then we have a question here from Severin. Always has good questions on basically every stream. Severin's asking, if high velocity at landing was enough of a problem to warrant a parachute on later missions, why didn't they try some sort of Cobra maneuver? Sawyer, you mentioned that they had to add in switches for the drogue earlier.
Yeah, up on their little heads-up display that they would get there for landing, which a lot of times you'll see video from that view. There was a deploy option for it, and then also a jettison option for it, where they basically cut the tie as they go out. And we'll get to the missions as we see more of that later on. And Endeavor, the best shuttle, played a big role in testing that out. So we'll see it more as we go. But
yeah, we will. But to round out the question, Cobra maneuver is wild to think of a shuttle doing a Cobra maneuver. Like Cobra maneuver, like the nose of the plane points like straight up at one point. Like remember when on Flight 10 they were stress testing Starship's heat shield and it was doing that crazy sort of attitude adjustment as it really tried to like present its entire broadside into the airstream to bleed. Like that is think of a Cobra, like a spitting Cobra, you know, like it. No, the shuttle does a flare on landing, and that's plenty.
Yeah, and the S turns on the way down.
Right, you can't exactly add power if the Cobra maneuver goes bad and go around. So you need to just like do a chill flare and not something that aggressive. But they did do a flare, which maybe we'll talk about when we get into landing. But good question from Severin.
it looks like we're back. I quickly want to catch this before I see it fall off the edge. Any update on the international shipping for shrug patches? Nothing to do with Shuttle. It hasn't arrived yet. Please send a message to the store. And by the way, it comes through to me or comes through to Lindsay or comes through to Kirsten. So it's like it goes through to a human person actually at NSF. And we'll find a tracking for you to find out because it should be with you by now. So there's something not right there. So we'll track it down. And if it's lost, we'll send you another one. So don't worry, we'll look after you. But send a message to the store and we'll definitely look after you. I saw it in chat, so I thought I'd cover that. Right. So it looks like we've got present back, which means I can go back to that video I was talking about. Let's see if that video breaks it again. Let's see if it breaks it again. I wonder if the video broke it. I don't know if that works that way. But look, here we go. This is there's I think there was 2 or 3 of them. Definitely 1 or 2 at JSC, which were like shuttle and mock-up, so it's all working. Look at this, is working. And they used it for crew training, such as egress and emergency scenarios. So I'm going to skip forward to the part here. Look, they're all suiting up as if it's a real thing. And then they go up into this mock-up here. And I'm going to go to the part here where I saw it come up very shortly on this video when I first played it. Here we go. Here's this long pull. So in a scenario, Sawyer, where, and I would say a return to launch site scenario as a good example, they're bailing out over water is the most likely scenario of that situation. They would blur the hatch open. This pull would extend down across and allow them to hook onto it, and then they'd basically deploy off it like a fire hose, a fire station hose, pole even, sorry. Slide down it and then parachute into the ocean and hopefully be recovered by the SRB recovery boats.
Yep, exactly. It's they would attach, they would slide, and then they have the parachutes on their back as well if they needed. This was really just a kind of stopgap measure after Challenger. It's more likely that it would be used during re-entry and landing, where if something went wrong and there was no way that they could make the runway, it was more likely for that than it would be for something like an RTLS.
Ah, yeah, very interesting. That's a cool thing about the shuttle program is they never had that issue with the final approach and landing. And remember, they got one chance to do this, one chance to land the orbiter. There's no go-arounds with shuttle landings. So, I mean, it's amazing, really. They never had that emergency scenario during the final part of landing. Look at the way they roll out of this. It's quite...
What's the point of the pole? Is so they clear the wing? Is that is that why they needed the pole and couldn't just jump out the door?
Exactly. It's to get them at a specific angle to be clear of the orbiter itself so they don't smash back into it by accident.
Right. And Chris, I mean, you've talked about how like an RTLS, if it ever actually had to happen on launch, they're most likely not getting back to the actual runway or launch site. They're probably just bailing over the ocean. Or Sawyer, like you're saying, maybe over land on re-entry.
Yeah.
Wild. I'm so glad we never had to see that.
I don't like to bring it up, but I will bring it up because it is history and it's important to bring these things up. But people do ask, why didn't they do that during Columbia? They knew they were having issues. They could see they were having issues. We know the crew reacted to the issues. Obviously, myself and Sawyer and Jack will know why not, and most people in chat will know why not. But for the benefit of people who do still to this day ask, why didn't they bail out and parachute out? They did not have parachutes. Sawyer, a quick explanation as to why at that point of the failure it would have been impossible.
They were still way too high up. They were still going way too fast. There was a very narrow window in which they could use that sort of escape mechanism, and it was too high and too fast. And by the time that they would have been able to get down to that, it was too late.
Yeah. But it's important to bring it up. There's no bad questions involved with that. Every time I get a question like that, where it's like an obvious answer to people like us, it's something you always happily answer because one, that person is having an interest in something that may not be one of the most interesting things to people these days with all SpaceXy and stuff and what have you. And it's important that people get the historic context behind these things. Right, launch time. Let's go through the launch photographs first. If I close this window, it should work. Oh, so far so good. Some really beautiful photographs, by the way, of this launch. Look at
This was the first shuttle mission to both launch and land at night of the program.
There we go. Sawyer fact. But I mean, that is just a beautiful photograph. You'd have that on your wall. That's a metal print. It's not our photograph, so we couldn't do it. But that is the kind of thing you'd have on your wall. It really is beautifully done. But there's more. But wait, there's more. Again, the brightness of the SRBs. People might have refound that again with maybe the Vulcan launch with the 4 SRBs. That would have been pretty bright. But SLS would have been a good example. The Artemis Night launch. People get to see the brightness of the SRBs. It's something you might not appreciate. I mean, Sawyer, you've been to that many launches now, and can you probably talk about the difference between a shuttle launch and maybe, say, a Falcon Heavy launch?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the big difference are you see them right there on the side of the vehicle. Those SRBs play a huge difference in things. The first shuttle launch I saw was a night launch, STS-130, and the brightness that they put off is unbelievable. The fact that you have that plume going behind it. If you notice during Falcon 9 launches or Falcon Heavy, the exhaust is very clean. You don't really see a smoke trail behind it. Same with Starship. That's because it's a lot cleaner fuels that it's burning. And again, the hydrogen that's burning in the actual main engines is barely visible. But all the chemicals and stuff they put into those giant SRBs makes a huge plume. It shakes the orbiter and it shakes you as well on the ground.
Got a better one. Oh, look at this. Now, would that have been from is
Plane
it
for sure.
WB-57? Could it have been a helicopter?
Probably a plane. I mean, I would guess a T-38. It's pretty high for a helicopter, so
Right.
I would guess a plane. I'm probably not WB, but who knows? I would guess a T-38 or some other platform. The graininess of it too is really remarkable. It's like these days, it's like any little bit of grain in a digital shot, you're like, oh, it's too much grain. Back then, it's like, yeah, no, the film has grain. It just has that, and it's like it's kind of beautiful.
Also, I
And
wonder how high of an ISO they would need for a shot like that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And just to quickly go back to the difference between launches, like I
Yeah.
don't know how many Artemis launches we're gonna get. I don't know how many SLSs there will be, but like if you out there in viewerland are prioritizing seeing a large rocket in the near future, perhaps consider making that Artemis 2 an SLS, because as cool as Starship is, there's going to be a lot of Starship launches, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands. You know what I mean? And we don't know how many more of these large solids are going to fly. It could be a lot. It could be like 4 in the form of 2 stacks. You know what I mean? Like, so just that night into day effect, yes, even with a large rocket like Falcon Heavy, you do get some of that, but it's just nowhere near the same. So yeah, definitely, it can't underscore that enough. That it's just absurd the difference those large solids make.
Yeah, that was the closest I had felt to a shuttle launch was Artemis 1. Jack, I'm sure you
Yep.
feel the same way.
Yep, it took me back to being a kid on the shuttle or on the NASA Causeway again, seeing Atlantis take off. Like it there's nothing that will be closer ever. So if you want to get a sense for what the shuttle was like and what those large solids are like, they're still flying. You got a chance next year, hopefully. I cannot underscore that enough. The people here that are like watching this live now or watching this on demand are absolutely the hardcore fans. And just like as you are making your calculus and what rockets to see when and how, SLS has its problems. It's definitely not as cool as Starship, in my humble opinion. But it's still really freaking cool, especially for the echoes of the past that it has.
Yep, and this would have been 39B. So this is not an example. I should pull it up one day. I'll do it on the Raptor side. How about that? People probably in this audience are that hardcore to probably do Raptor sides as well. Julia was very kind enough to do a before and after, the first flyovers and the current flyovers. And the difference between 39A then in 2022 and 2025, as it is now in August 2025, the last flyover we did, it's quite astonishing. Now, this pad has gone through its changes as well, but mainly by taking structures down to make it a clean pad that can host a mobile launcher, as we've seen with Artemis 1. So it's a different kind of thing where most of the perimeter is probably the same, whereas 39A has really changed. I mean, it really has dramatically. RS-25 shock diamonds.
Speaking of that clean
hello.
burn, you could see the difference right there.
Lord. Oh my God, what an image.
It's funny. I was saying to myself, "Oh, I have many images from this as a DoD mission. We have to do 2 missions in a row." Then I started downloading all the L2 content. I was like, "Okay, we've got enough photographs." Look at that. I mean, that's great. And also, it's not just the difference between the solids, the propellant solid exhaust, and the clean Hydrolox exhaust of the RS-25s. You can see here, visually see how they have gimbaled them because they have got TVCs to gimbal. Even the SRBs do as well. That's why they do a real program. But you can really see it here, the angle. That angle would always be changing because that is where the steering is, especially on second stage ascent. That's a cool thing. Yeah, that is a good photograph.
And at
Another one
liftoff,
here.
the engines are gimbaled as far away from each other as possible because with that initial thrust at liftoff, the rattle would be so much that the engine bells could smash into each other and break. So that's why if you ever watch like that, when they do the gimbal test and then when they finish it, they end as completely away from each other as possible.
Yeah, I think we might see that in the launch video. It's start position, isn't it? The movement to start position, and it's
Yep.
something you visually see. I mean, it's really obvious as well. But we have to cover this, the important thing. What do you think I'm going to zoom in on?
The crane.
It's still there.
Yep.
I noticed it immediately. I was waiting to see if you were gonna hit it.
There've been new people in chat who was like watching their first Shuttle Sunday going, what are they going on about? We've been following when the crane, the historic heritage crane, finally vanishes from the pad. Not yet. Oh no, not yet. But again, look at these are, I mean, what's this? 1989. The quality of these images are just amazing.
It turns out you can do amazing things with film cameras. You just have to be good.
Yeah. Oh, I just love that. I mean, it's a very iconic view. It really is. And by the way, you can tell this was scanned, by the way. This is one of our scan photographs. You can see the dirt on the photograph itself is literally there because they've scanned it. We've got a lot of historical photographs that may have never seen the light of day because they were basically in someone's shoebox, and we've had them scanned. This is probably not a great example of it because we've got some really you'd never seen before photographs. You've seen launch photographs before, but we've had them scanned and then digitized and put into L2, and then I'll put them on Shuttle Sunday and I'll put them out on Twitter because we're not holding them on L2. We're just basically having that as a depository. But we do these shows to get them out there as well for public domain. Never would have been seen otherwise. And I think that's a really important thing. By the way, another thing you can see here, because of the night launch and the way the plume lights everything up, is the top of the tower, the lightning protection pole, is not just a pole. It actually has lightning protection lines that go down. And that's what dissipates the lightning.
Right, yeah, a lot of people, especially with launches out of 40, they want to know what are the 4 towers for, or what is that giant cigarette-looking thing on top of the fixed service. Like, it's not the pole itself that is the lightning rod. It is holding up wires, catenary wires, that are going to direct the lightning down and safely away from the infrastructure. The large fiberglass tubes that hold the wires look like the main event because a lot of times, like you said, Chris, you can't see the wires given, they're up against the sky or there's a light background or whatever it is. But this shot, also, a lot of times, just from like a photography perspective, catenary wires or things that clutter the sky when I'm trying to frame an image bother me. I want it to be clean. In this case, the photographer placed the camera so that at this moment in liftoff, those 2 catenary wires would act as leading lines and draw your eye to the shuttle rather than distract you with clutter in the, like, it's a masterful image. It's a masterful image in so many ways.
Almost like when we're at 40 or 39 and there's the little square above the launch pad where the rocket goes through. If you angle it right, you can frame it as, again, it acts as a frame for the rocket. It's beautiful.
I forget what launch it was, but I had a wide placed for that exact shot, and my stupid SD card buffered, meaning it couldn't take the photos fast enough from the camera. So that moment is like in between images from that camera took. I forget what, it might have been CRS-20. I forget what one that was, but yeah, you gotta hope. Oh, look at that one, so good.
Oh, framed by the crane.
And you got the mock diamond sitting there in the like void just
And
like
the bushes
perfect.
even.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my God. It's just
These are whoever took these on this mission, they
They cooked.
cooked.
they cooked. Ate, left no crumbs. No
Yeah.
cap.
I got one more, I think. No, that's the last one. That's why I can't click forward. Work it out, Chris. There we go. Right, so let's go to the launch video now. Now, there's some terribly bad launch video versions of this where it's just the recordings of it are very old-fashioned and unfortunate, really. But I pretty much think I found the best one I could, and I think it was from a NASA VHS. We went back to those eras. I'm going to play it now and see what we can show on it. Here we go. Yeah, it was NASA. I wonder if we've got sound, by the way. Let me know if you've got sound in chat, please. Nope, you're not getting audio. Never. It's all right on my end, Jay. Not to worry. Well, I tell you what, we're going to show pictures. We're going to show the video, and we'll just talk over it. How about that? I'm going to look for that. Here we go. There's a gimbal in. There's a gimbal of the engines. You can see how fast they move as well.
It's just one of the coolest things in spaceflight when they do those gimbal checks. When Super Heavy does it, when Shuttle does it, when any rocket does it, and they actually have the foresight to show us. It's just another part of the vehicle coming alive, and another thing that is, it sort of humanizes the vehicle. It humanizes the machine in a way. Like it's stretching its legs. You know what I mean? It's like yawning as it gets out of bed and being like, I'm ready to go to space. It's just the coolest thing.
Yes, when you hear TBC check, that's what that is.
Sorry, I was pressing random buttons and I realized I pressed the wrong one there. I was trying to see if I could help Jay, but I shouldn't really touch anything because it worked last time, so I'll just leave it at that. But either way, there's a beanie cap. That will
Beanie cap.
retract. There we
I
go.
love it. Yeah, help purging all of the excess gases away from the vehicle through that.
Imagine having to design the vent that has to close at the top of the external tank and is basically, the leading edge of this entire stack as it hurtles through the atmosphere. And it's like, yeah, you got to design a vent that sits right there and closes and stays closed and protects the fuel line. It's like, what? Okay. It's like, I'm so glad I'm not an engineer.
And yet they did it. It worked every flight.
Yeah, no kidding.
I was about to say at 1 minute it's Falcon 9's in startup, but no, shuttle enters quote unquote startup or the terminal count at T-minus 31 seconds.
Right, so 27 seconds on the video, so it's auto sequence start. I'm hoping this part, I didn't watch it back with that knowledge of looking out for engines being gimbal to start. I'm sure we'll see it though. Let's see.
Yeah, once you see the rofies, the sparklers at the bottom. Yeah, here we go. Ooh, that's a cool view.
Yeah.
Ooh. Wow, you can see the stack flex too.
Oh.
Much
The
like Sawyer
twang.
every Shuttle Sunday.
That was good.
You can see the roll. Oh my god. The fact that they rolled this stack, every time I see it, every time I see that roll, it just is bonkers to me. Side-mounted space plane on a 2-stolid motor that's like, oh my god, yeah, we're just going to roll it. It's fine. It does that.
And I mean, other vehicles roll, but it was so much more obvious given the lopsidedness of the stack.
Right, it's one thing to roll a cylinder, it's another thing to roll a side-mounted space plane, which is just wild to me. And no, they did not use the aero surfaces on the shuttle to accomplish that roll. That was all using TVC, that thrust vector control, the gimbling of the solids, mostly the solids actually. A lot of people don't know those gimbal. So yeah, for all its flaws, what a fantastically magnificent machine.
I like how you phrased that. For all its flaws, what a magnificent flying vehicle. It really is. I think that's a great way of describing it. People go to me, Chris, you love shuttle, but all the disasters and all the issues. You go, yeah, taking that into account, it's still something you can be objective about. You can recognize the issues it had from design.
Right.
Let's face it, it was designed wrong from the start.
Yep.
But a lot of these issues and a lot of disasters probably will be something we'll look back on in the years to come as humanity learning how to do this properly.
Yes. I don't think
So
we get
that's
to where we are now without the shuttle program. Even,
Yeah.
you know, Falcon 9, even Starship, like all of this, you know, we all stand on the shoulders of giants, and sometimes the giant was flawed in ways. It's just, you know, I've said it on Shuttle Sunday, I've said it on our streams. I love the space shuttle. It's probably my favorite rocket of all time. I also hate the space shuttle. It trapped us in low Earth orbit. It was not what it was supposed to be. It did not deliver on any of the things it was supposed to do. And I'm, you know, nothing is black and white. That's, I wish more people understood that.
What
Nothing
do you mean? The
is.
orbiter is black and white.
Oh my God, Sawyer! But no, really, like it can both be a beautiful, magnificent machine and also a folly and flawed. Like it can be both. It's the Magnum. This is the signals intelligence satellite it supposedly deployed. We actually
Allegedly.
talked. Yeah, allegedly. Hang on, someone's knocking on my door, screaming the word FBI. I don't know what that. No, if you want to know more, we did do. I think it was STS-51C. Also deployed a similar Magnum electronic intelligence satellite payload, and we talked about it at length in that one. We kind of went down the rabbit hole a little bit. I won't take all our time up on it here, but yeah, it turns out if you want to scoop up electronic signals, you can put a giant dish in space in geosynchronous orbit in just the right spot and scoop up the scatter that is going past the satellite that those signals are actually going to. It's like an eavesdropper satellite. Think about it like that.
And this one allegedly replacing the other one because it has to basically station keep to stay over, say, the Soviet Union or maneuver to China or whoever they want to listen into at the time.
Right.
And it was a way for them to basically get a new one with new propellants to do the listening. And there are some claims I've read that one of the astronauts said the payload is still up there and functional, but I'm not sure if that's still the case or what.
Huh.
Look at it. Look at this, Sawyer. That's what I was looking for. It was post Challenger where the DoD and the US Air Force were thinking we don't want to be associated with shuttle anymore, and they were looking at Titans as alternatives and whatever. But you've got the iOS, which was the Titan thing. A lot of these payloads, they did transfer. I mean, that's why Vandenberg didn't happen, because the polar orbits. They were going to have Discovery at Vandenberg to launch US Air Force payloads into polar orbits from the West Coast. And when Challenger happened, the DoD and the US Air Force were like, let's look at expendable rockets, not go on shuttle.
Yep, but there were certain payloads that the expendable rockets at the times could not either lift or it was too big for them to lift. And from some unofficial accounts, apparently this was one that took up the entirety of the payload bay and that it was absolutely massive, something that one of the other vehicles could not carry.
Yeah. By the way, for people who think we're joking, we are joking. This is publicly released. There's a lot of publicly released stuff. I think the government released a lot of stuff after they had a leak. I forget who it was. It was someone famous. He leaked a lot of stuff. Basically, they said, well, let's put a lot of stuff out there anyway. This is an example of that. All right, let's move on to the next photograph. This is lots of crew photographs. You don't get much mission photographs from this one because it was a DoD mission. But there we go. He's got a fluffy round ball. There we go. But that was kind of cool just to see that in space. I know
And
one
you
of
know
the.
why?
Sorry?
You know why he had that.
He's a professional footballer.
He was from 1970 to 1972. He was in the NASL and played for the Atlanta
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Indeed. Very cool. Atlanta Chiefs, which are now Atlanta United FC, who play in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in MLS, and they get 60,000 crowds, by the way. The people that go, soccer's not interested in Americans that like soccer. Well, if they can get 60,000 crowds in Charlotte, Atlanta, and places like that, then it's doing all right. There we go. Moving on. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, look at that. It's from a school. He's holding up there, which is really kind of cool. When I downloaded the photograph, I didn't realize it was actually when I zoomed in. Look at this. It looks like Japanese.
I was going to say, I don't think that's English. No, that's definitely not English.
No, it's not English.
That's cool.
Although my handwriting's horrendous, it might look a bit like that.
I wish the shuttle had folding wingtips like that. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hey. You're not a goalkeeper. I wonder all of the game. There's a mysterious sixth crew member, which we didn't get to talk about during the crew launch photographs, but there we go. Mr. Invisible. That was definitely part of the crew fun. There's Story. Legend. That's a great photograph. I think that would have... look at that. That's the one I was looking for. There we go. Yeah. Showing off how strong you are in space. It's a cheat, of course.
Well, it's not cheating if there's microgravity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just physics.
Right.
Maggots on board. That's almost like a military reference, isn't it? About
Right.
yeah,
Newbie.
Yep.
newbie. That's right. Yeah, a rookie. They're very traditional, all around in a circle photograph. Lots of it. Is that Florida?
Yeah.
It could be.
I'm
might
so
be.
not a geoguesser. That
I
does
don't
not
think
look
it
like
is.
Florida.
Madagascar.
No, I don't think it is.
It's definitely not the right shape for Florida, but I have no idea
No.
what that is. I'm a dumb American.
Well, it's our every game that we play during Shuttle Sunday. Let us know where this is, either in the live chat or in the comments.
Madagascar?
That was my thought, but again,
Yeah, but then where's
chat, tell us.
Africa?
Oh, Ari thinks South Korea. Lord of Random's backing me up with Madagascar. And Sir Severin, hang on, Japan?
Japan?
Matt says Japan?
It doesn't look pointy enough.
My
Looks
immediate thought was Florida, because obviously that'd be a good photograph for them to take, because that's where they launch from and where they can land as well. Well, not this one, but they usually will be a Florida kind of like thing, but it's not the right shape for Florida, is it now?
No.
Photographs. Look at this. Oh, that's quite a small photograph. But that is the back of the flight deck. That is where they had the back windows and the aft windows as well for the payload bay, so they could see what they're deploying. He'd be looking at that secret satellite, but you don't get to see it in these photographs because it's secret.
Yeah, that's
Same with this.
part of the RMS. That's part of the robot arm he was working there.
Yep. Westy thinks it's Norfolk coast. I think it's definitely not.
That's the Wyoming coast.
There's the hand controller. And that's the mission photograph. No video for this one because, what surprise, it's a secret. But we do have a landing. By the way, we won't do a full hour. We've got 7 minutes left. We'll go over again.
And yeah, as mentioned, they did do the Thanksgiving dinner on board, and it was turkey, potatoes, and broccoli. And also, this mission had a fun part where they got to celebrate the holidays by fixing their toilet because the waste management system, had a cabin leak through the waste management collection system that they had to troubleshoot.
See, that's one thing they don't have a problem with Dragon anymore, do they? Oh, yes, they do.
Oh,
Oh,
wait.
yes, they do. Oh, yes, they do.
Thing is like I eagerly await Vast or somebody to actually finally figure out a good space toilet. And like, hey, maybe a space shower? Didn't they have one on Skylab? Like, can we please get to the point where mass to orbit is not so precious that we can actually have bathroom accommodations that are not horrible and astronauts that don't stink for 6 months? Like, it seems like a no-brainer. Like, we're still in the dark ages where it's like the peasants don't take a bath every day because it's just not a thing. Like, we need to get past that in space.
Landing video. Again, you're not going to get sound because the sound's not working, but don't worry about that. It's visuals going for it. You might actually hear some of it through my microphone, to be fair.
And
Go, sorry.
I was gonna say this mission was the first one of 2 total in the entire program to land on concrete runway 04 at Edwards.
Ooh. Coming through the sun. Look at that.
Right at sunrise. Or sorry, sunset.
I've got some very cool photographs of this as well. As you can imagine. That's a different angle again. I do like how the videos tend to be a mix of angles. There's never copy and paste.
Yeah, I think part of it is the fact that it is a different runway.
That'll help you.
Gear touchdown. Discovery rolling out at the end of mission STS-33 at Edwards Air Force Base on runway 4.
Wow.
The runway for?
Sawyer, I can really see the difference in the background. On all of the other Edwards landings, we get like the base in the background and it's more flat. Here you have the hills of the Mojave in the background.
Yup.
Just gorgeous.
As much as I mock the West Coast, the landings at Edwards were spectacular.
Yep. Time machine. Say it every time. Give me a time machine. I'll go back and watch shuttle landings every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way,
Let's-
STS-34 in 1994 is the only other mission that would land on this runway in the history of the shuttle program.
Look at that. Just the backing of that because of the time of day it was landing. It was really, really nice. And I've got a clean photograph of the landing here. This is one of the best ones. I think this was the thumbnail for the video because it was just very, very, very clear. Less battle. See, by the time Discovery retired, there's a lot more battle scars, as you'd imagine. But I always find that fascinating to see them when they're in their early missions because it's not until they get into their high teens and into 20s and things like that where you get the real dark lines of the battle scars. That is something we mentioned with like the soot on Falcon 9s, which have gone through several missions because they just get very, very sooty and they'd only clean the weld lines to inspect the actual weld lines. After everything else is left, they don't wash it down or anything like that.
So beautiful.
Oh,
Something about the
right.
thermal blanketing.
Yeah.
I hope we
There we
get that on the HLS Starship. Like some white thermal blanketing or something. We get like that shuttle throwback look. Oh my goodness, look at that.
I've got
Colors.
Desert
best-
sunrise, baby.
the best
Sunset
one's the
babe.
last one. The best one's the last one. That's cool. I think that was the thumbnail, to be fair. That was just nice lighting.
Good golly. Yeah.
Mm.
That's desert sunrise. I mean, I am not normally a morning person, but you know me, I love the desert. And waking up in the morning and seeing the sun come over the horizon in the barren landscape like that, I imagine it's the same on the moon or Mars. But absolutely, like, I understand why primitive cultures worshipped the sun. Because the lighting changes so dramatically and everything gets so beautiful. And it's just like, oh, okay, it's a new day. I don't know. Something about the desert sunrise. That's really special, Chris.
Except this is desert sunset.
Ah!
You've got the dunes at Starbase. That's your desert.
Mm,
Not
no
Doesn't
comment.
also apply to desert sunset, but yeah,
Sunset, sunrise, golden hour. You get it.
exactly.
If I ever get to Starbase, I'll be like on a picnic in the dunes going, I'm in the desert, everybody. Oh, the nearest we get to a desert is Scarborough Beach, and it doesn't really count at all. That's
Chris,
cool, partner.
if I know one thing from traveling around Death Valley a whole bunch, it's that Europeans love Death Valley. So maybe someday we'll see.
Is that a sarcastic thing or is that true?
No, it's true. Like mostly Germans. I don't know why it's Germans, but frequently Europeans and like it seems to be one of the spots that is a common tourist destination for whatever reason. It's beautiful.
Wow, it's surely too hot for our pale complexions.
And you got to go at the right time of year.
All
Go
right,
in the
fair enough.
winter.
Ah, there we go. There we go. The final one of the set. We have gone through past the hour, so we've done it. But again, that's a nice little sign-off photograph because that just shows someone from distance. I think it was still rolling then. Oh, yeah, it was landing. Yeah, it was still landing. It was still rolling on land out because the speed brakes are deployed and what have you.
Oh,
And someone just far away took this photograph with the sun setting. And that is just beautiful. Really is nice. Again, for something that wouldn't have been publicised all that much, they went out of their way not to really publicise the DoD missions. Isn't it true, Sawyer, that you wouldn't even know the launch time if you were like a shuttle fan who wanted to go and watch shuttle launches? They wouldn't publicise the actual launch time for fear of people working out the orbits or something?
until less than 24 hours before. Yep, exactly. And in fact, when I went to find the media kit for this, because all of the missions usually have a media kit that was provided to the press at the time, this one doesn't exist. There is none.
Wow. Next space flight in tatters. Right. Well, that'll do it. That's the hour. Apologies for the technical issues. That's fine, though. Well, luckily, we've got Jay in the background, who I didn't thank at the start, did I? Oh, I didn't do it again. Jay producing, bless him, because, you know, Jay did the static fire stream as well. So Jay Sunday's been very busy, and we do appreciate him. And he was making sure this won't crash. Because if he'd been left to my own and that had have happened, that'd have been the end of the show. There's no way I would have known how to fix things. So thanks to Jay in the back for contributing. Thank you also to Jack. Thank you, Jack.
Of course. Talking while muted. Sorry. Yeah. Anytime we do a Shuttle Sunday, I try and be here. It's a special thing, and I'm glad we're doing it.
Yeah, we're going to try and get through them all. I'm personally looking forward to, I mean, it's going to be a while off yet. I'm looking forward to the post-Columbia missions because those are the missions I covered in depth literally every day as the early days of NSF. So I would be really fascinated to go through those because I have the stories. I will try and outflex Sawyer on those stories. I don't know if I can, if it's possible, but I'll have an attempt to because I just so much daily content from those missions. L2 will come in so handy. We had like daily reports and everything, and PDFs and program control report boards, a flight readiness review, documentation, everything for those missions. So those will be Shuttle Sundays and a half. They won't be 1 hour shows. I guarantee you. They'll be 2 hour shows.
Guess who was reading those every single day for all of those missions?
Oh, I'll never outflex Sawyer. I should just accept defeat. But
we really need to do like a flex off at some point when we get into those missions. I'm just gonna be quiet. I know that's like sounds impossible. Jack, be quiet. But no, like really, I will just be quiet and sit back and watch the fireworks because I am so here to hear, both of your perspectives on those later missions, and that's something we have to look forward to as we keep going through these.
There's a lot of workers during the shuttle program, shuttle managers who've since retired, who may want to come on during those missions. I got a funny feeling that might be possible. That'd be a show and a half. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. 2 hour show.
Yeah. Would be very cool. Anyway, enough of that. Let me thank also Sawyer. Thank you, Sawyer, as always.
Always a pleasure. You know I love talking shuttle, especially with both of you guys. So always a pleasure.
Yes, it is. It's a fun Sunday. Shuttle Sunday, as it always should be. But thank you to all for joining us. Again, this isn't a show that gets the big numbers like a Starship Static Fire or even a Starship Rollout or even if a fence falls down at Starbase. Let's face it, we get like 100,000 people like, a fence has fallen over at Starbase. Everyone getting to Starbase live. But this is why we do it. We do it because it's a historical documentation of what we wanted to do. It's something that's very dear to us at NSF because it's how we started. So we don't do it for the numbers. We do it because it's important to go through the missions. And that's why we do these things. But until next time, the next Shuttle Sunday show, thank you for joining us and goodbye. I think. Jay, we've finished.
Roll the outro?
Roll the outro.
Bum, 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 bum.
Should we do the outro song ourselves?
Yikes, you bet concur.
Jack, this is the time to unveil the new video, right?
No. Nice try.
I wonder if someone like Jay has ordered something online and the delivery person's literally knocking on his door right now, and Jay's going to rush back, going, "Why have they stopped talking?"
I forget. Do I have Jay's phone number? I don't have Jay's phone number. I thought I did.
I'll tell you what, Jack. While we're here, did we have any more questions we can just fill this time with? Because this is the oddest Shuttle Sunday we've done so far. To be fair,
it's going great, sweetie. Yeah, let me bring up the panel. I had already closed it. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We do have a gifted membership from Ari 40 minutes ago, so thank you. We would have missed that. I did not see that before we were wrapping there, so thank you, Ari. Gabriel's asking, when did the DoD contract NASA to send their payloads on shuttle? I never knew that before. That was like part and parcel of the whole program, right, Sawyer? Like they sort of sold shuttle to Congress by being like, it's the space bus. It'll take everything. And then that's one of the many ways in which the promise of shuttle did not work out. Am I way off there?
You are way on with that. I mean, the dimensions of the payload bay were specified by the U.S. Air Force and other military entities with lots of letters in them.
Cough NSA, cough, cough.
Yeah, exactly. The alphabet basically said, hey, we want it this big because this is how big our spy satellites are. So you're going to make it to that, even though it was definitely not what NASA wanted to do.
Also, in addition to that, the reason the wings got so big and subsequently the vehicle so heavy and large and etc. Like the reason it is the way that it is because of how the sausage was made in terms of funding getting to the program. And there was a necessary reference orbit, an orbit once around, I think it was called, where they would launch from Vandenberg on a polar trajectory, orbit the Earth one time only, and either capture a satellite or release a satellite, and then land again at Edwards or Vandenberg or whatever. And in order to do that, in the amount that the Earth rotates underneath the orbit of the shuttle in one polar orbit, they needed X amount of cross range, however many, 1,200 miles or whatever. So that's why the shuttle has the payload bay that's that size. That's why the shuttle has the wings sized that it has, and that's why the shuttle has the cross range that it has. And tragically, because of Challenger and a variety of other, complex factors, the shuttle didn't end up being the space bus and didn't end up getting used for most DoD payloads. In fact, the DoD payloads are almost kind of like the rarities on the shuttle. Not rarity, but they're not the majority. That's certainly the case. So yeah, the shuttle is the way that it is because of a job that it was designed to do that it never did.
Thanks also to Gunfox, did a gifted membership for no reason whatsoever because we should have ended by now. But I do appreciate that, and I thought I'd give you a shout out. Thank you for doing that. And Nick H has become a gifted member because of that.
So, heck yeah.
We are looking to see how we can end this stream. I think Jay has just vanished. I wonder if his internet died. But we're asking other producers if they can work out how to end this stream. If not, we can basically mute the microphones and leave this screen on. But I would like us to get back to Space Coast Live. Otherwise, people who like watching boats arrive into Port Canaveral and what have you will be absolutely rioting about it. Going, I want to see a fairing return on the back of a ship. And I'll be going, why is this shuttle still on this photograph here? And my OBS will probably die before long. So we definitely need to find a way of ending this because otherwise you're going to just get a blank screen off my laptop.
No, we're just stuck here, Chris. We can't leave. We can't ever leave. We're here forever now.
Hang on.
This is our lives now.
Ryan Caton's coming to the rescue, it looks like.
That's all right. The New York Jets just lost, so it's fine.
They never lose. They're the best team in NFL, you told me.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, I thought that was the Mets.
In the NFL?
Oh, right.
Oh, wait, I thought we were doing baseball. I'm so good at sports.
We're going to find a way of ending this now because Ryan is able to run the outro. So I'm going to say thank you for joining us and go for it, Ryan.
And here we go.
We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be normal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Doubling up. Roger, with planet.
Water towers, fly! Yes! Echo down to nominal.
Flight downside STS off. Bring in STS off. It's orange!
R45! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage.
Amazing!
Put that in the big bag, Jingle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
If the methane would be